piece of transmission line whose characteristic impedance is Z1 in such a way this its length is lambda by 4, that I will show you, is Z1, and Z1 is equals to under root of Z0 and ZL. Why I will show why we have taken this thing, and its length is L is equals to lambda G by 4 at the center frequency. So it will be perfect match at only one frequency, but at the other frequency it will be partially matched, not exactly matched. But if what we say, we define, let's say matching means, let us say that if I have if I have a network here, okay, so if I launch some power P naught here, so what do you mean by matching? So if I launch a P naught, power, what is going to happen? As soon as this P naught reaches in the network, so it will see the difference in the impedance. So here you will have difference in the impedance. So difference in impedance. Okay, then you will have reflection. So let us say your PR is the reflected power, and PT, if it is having some transmission, so PT is the transmitted power. So but we are not interested into the transmitted power, or because in our case we are delivering the power to the load. So we are interested in the PR. So what should the value of PR? Ideally what we want, PR should be 0, but practically impossible. Practically this is impossible, not possible at all. So what do we do? We say that if we have, let's say if we have, we define a percentage of P naught, that is PR, should be a percentage of P naught, then we will be happy with that. Means let's say if it is 10% of P naught, then we are happy, or if it is 10% of, or it is 1% of P naught, then we are happy. So that means if 10% means the power is 10 dB down, 1% means it is 20 dB down. So it is called, that is called return loss. So return loss, as the loss term is already there, so return loss of 10 dB, return loss of 20 dB. So if we have, and for that, so if I plot return loss, this will be S11. So it will be something like this at F naught. This is my, on the x-axis, that is mod of S11. So return loss, so let us say this is our 0 dB line. Okay, so let us say that this is my minus of 10 dB. So this will be, so I will have this bandwidth, that is bandwidth for 10 dB return loss. So you must understand what is the difference between return loss and S11. S11 is this graph only, the red one is this graph, S11. The return loss is the, return losses will be a positive quantity because loss term has already been introduced there. So if it is 10 dB, or let us say that if I want for the minus 20 dB, so my bandwidth will become narrow. So I will have narrower bandwidth. So for that, so that is the bandwidth, means how you do the matching. So what we, and if you see here, so it is going to, if you expand it, if I expand this point at F naught, it is going like this. Means everything is matched, so it is going to minus infinity. Means your S1 mod of S11 is 0. Means you don't have any reflection, and return loss will be infinite. Yeah, infinite. So it is going to minus infinity. S11, no, yeah, that is in absolute scale. That is not in dB. Here we are talking about the dB scale. So for that, so as I have discussed just now here, so we want to do the matching for the resistive load. So we want to have, this is our resistive load. So this is our resistive load RL, and this is our transmission line Z1, and this is Z0. So let us calculate, the length is lambda by 4, lambda G by 4. So if I want to calculate Z in here, so what should the value of Z in? So Z in will be, Z in is equals to Z naught. So here Z naught is your Z1. That is this, because we are talking about this portion of the transmission line. So here your Z naught, here your this will be, so this Z in equals to Z1 into, yeah, Z naught. It is Z naught plus ZL plus JZ naught tan beta L over Z naught plus JZL tan beta L. Substitute all these things. So ZL is your RL and JZ naught is again Z1 and tan beta L and tan beta L over Z naught is your Z1 plus JRL tan beta L, and your beta L will be 2 pi by lambda g into lambda g by 4. It comes out to be pi by 2. So that means tan beta L will be infinite. So you have to divide it here by tan beta L in all the things. So this will, if you divide it, tan beta L here, tan beta L, tan beta L, tan beta L. So this will go to infinite, 0. This will go to 0. So what you will have? You will have Z1 square over RL equals to Zin, and this gives us Z1 equals to Zin into RL. Now Zin, so what we want? So Zin should be equal to, so Zin should be equals to Z naught. So what we have? We have the, this will be equals to Z naught into RL. So this is, in this way you can do the matching for the resistive load. It is called, since the length of transmission line is lambda by 4, lambda by lambda g by 4 at F naught, so it is called quarter wave matching or quarter wave transformer. So why it is called transformer? It transforms Z naught, means it transforms one impedance to the another. That is why it is called quarter wave transformer. You can call it quarter wave matching also. So transformer name is given in such a way. Now what to do means for your part. So you have to implement these things in the microstrip line as it was shown in the this one figure. So this one, no, this is single step matching. So this is, so what? So this is shown. This is shown to you. So this is, so what you have to do, you have to implement this thing in the microstrip line. Take a load, take a resistive load. Take yeah. So let us say that you take Z naught. You take Z naught equals to 50. Let us say that question. So Z naught equals to 50 ohm. And you take RL equals to 30 ohm. So then you try to find out what would be the value of Z. This will be 50 into 30. So it comes out to be something like yeah, 10 under root 15 ohms. So you need to design. So what you need to design here? So you need to design. So first from the microstrip, or that is line calculator. Line calculator. What you do? And yeah, what you do, so basic thing is that you have to design on. So try to find out. So this is okay, this is your, I'm drawing this top view. This is your W50, that is W50 that can be calculated from the line calculator, and you can calculate W30 also from the line calculator. Okay, so calculate W. So it will be, W30 will be smaller or larger. So the low impedance lines are having the larger value, means larger width. So it will be larger in width. So it will be W30, and for that, so what you need to do, and your, and what was the W, what W of Z1? So you will have to get this W of Z1. It will be in between this W30 and these things. So W30 and these things, and let's say if you do it for the at 2.4, I don't know at what frequency it is given. It has been asked, so it has been asked for some frequency. No, let me check. No, okay. The problem here is given. Okay, so they have asked for 100 ohm. So that is 100 ohm there. Instead of having this R naught, it will be 100 ohm. So it will be 100. So then it will change to smaller width. So it will be these things, and it will be W100. So it will be thinner line. And okay, this will also change because so this will be thinner, and since Z1 and this one, yeah, this WZ1 will be in between, so you'll have somewhat thinner than this, thicker than this one. This will be W100, this will be WZ1, and okay, and length, these length you can have any length, no problem, but these length has to be lambda g by 4 at f0. So you please take substrate, whatever substrate as it was decided by the, for the BTech students, you have to take one substrate, that is you have to take 4003C RT duroid, and for dual degree you have to take that is you have to take 5880 substrate, and for the substrate, and thickness was, that is H was 0.508 mm in both the cases, and here you have to take 0.78787 mm you take mm, and you have to design at, let's say, at 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, so these things first you have to verify in the MATLAB. So, and also as I've said that it can be this, let's say it can be of any length, this L1 and L2 can be of the any length, but since we have to do the simulations, it can, or we have to verify it, so we cannot take it to any length. So what we have to take to the finite length. So finite length, so we have to take some values of L1 and L2 and try to solve this problem. And in the MATLAB, so in the MATLAB also, please try to find out the, as Professor Mandal has told. So this is, you can think of this can be as a 3 cascaded transmission line of different ABCD parameter, that is A1, B1, C1, D1, A2, B2, C2, D2, A3, B3, C3, D3. So this will give you the ABCD parameter of this entire quarter wave transformer, and from there you can convert it to the, S parameter, that is by using the formula which Professor Mandal has discussed, or it is given in the poser also, and you can, after that you can find out the S11 and S21 of this network. So is it clear, or any question in this quarter wave transformer part? If you have a question, feel free to ask us. Regarding the simulation, the TAs will discuss the simulation portion. Okay, so if you don't have any question, then we will move to the another.
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt on the substrates we have chosen for BTech and dual degree people. So, sir, is there any necessity to reverse it, because the design would be easier if we could use the substrate from last week's itself?
No, whatever the Professor Mandal has given, I don't remember it, so you can follow that one.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so whatever you are following, you do it, you take it on the same substrate. Basic thing is that we want to just have it to separate it out, because all the procedure will remain as it is. Nothing will change. Procedure and methodology will remain same. Okay. Only just the values will change, some values, because it will have different thickness, these two substrate, and it will have different dielectric constant, that is 3.34, and it will have, that is 2.2, only these values, and you need to do all sorts of things in the line calculator to get the width for 50 ohm or 100 ohm. If you can, it will be better if you can change it, because I don't have any problem. If you can use that one also, I don't have any problem. Okay, please follow one thing. Yeah, anything else? So this is quarter wave transformer we have discussed. Now another is the single step matching. Single step matching. Okay, apart from that, there is single step matching. I have discussed in the last class single step matching. So single step matching was single step matching. So in the single step matching, as I told you, we will have again let us say that this is your transmission line, and instead of having the simple load, we will have the resistive load, we will have the complex load, that will be RL plus JXL, and here transmission line is Z0. So what we want to have, so to match this Z0 to this load, so what we do, we connect a piece of transmission line, that is a piece of transmission line with the same characteristic impedance Z0, and it will be at a distance D from the one end, and it can be either short circuited or open circuited, or it can be in series also. Means I will just give you, because I will not confuse you, means you will get confused. So you will have four possibilities. One at a connection. So possibilities I will draw. So this is the first possibility. So you will have ZL, that is, you will have this one, you will have, that is, these are the shunt load. This is shunt stub, that is shunt stub, shunt shorted stub. Another is shunt open circuit stub. Okay, so you will have, it will be open circuit. Okay, now another will be, it will be shunt open circuited stub. And here, apart from that, series stub. Series, you will have series this is called series shorted stub, and here also you will have series open circuited stub, that is open circuited. So you will have four possibilities, that is series open circuited stub, that you can connect to do the shorted, to do the single stub matching. Okay, now one more thing. So what we will say, maybe in this class or in this lab session, what was decided? It was decided to have, that is open circuited stub, and it is series open circuited stub. So it was shown that is series open circuited stub. It is required here. So now, but generally we prefer short circuited stub. Why? The reason behind is that short circuited stubs are less, because open circuited stubs are likely to radiate. That is, open circuit stubs are radiating, means likely to radiate. That is, open circuited stubs are likely to radiate. So that is why. So how to convert to an open circuit stub to the open short circuit stub? Can you tell me? If you have a open circuit stub, how should I convert to the short circuit stub? Let's say this is my open circuit stub of length L1. How should I convert to the short circuit stub? This is open circuit.
We can connect a metal plate at the
Eh? Speak louder.
Sir, I'm not sure, but we can connect a uh, metal plate at the other end. So in this case, it would be a through metal. So I forgot what it is
No, do you
called.
know short circuited? Do you know what is the if you have a short circuited point and if you have an open circuited point, so what is the means distance between these 2 points?
Lambda by 4.
Lambda by 4.
Lambda by
Yeah, lambda g by 4. So straightforward, if I extend this length, the lambda by g by 4 extension, so what, this is my short circuited stub. So this will give me, so basic thing is what we are doing. We are, yeah, what we are doing here, so we are just adding a load at, means instead of leaving it alone, if you leave it alone, it will likely to radiate. That is, your EM wave will be there. Some, it will be lesser. These are called fringing fields. So, but if I connect a short circuited stub in such a way means it should see, basic thing is that it should see its Zn should be infinite. So how to achieve it? I will connect a stub, a shorted stub, and it will be having lambda g by 4. So if you see Zn, it will be infinite. I will just bring these two closer to each other. In this way, I can, and this is the short circuited stub will be not radiating because it is grounded. Okay, but okay, this is just for the information. But for this practical, for this lab session, you need to design the open circuit stub. Oh yeah, open circuit stub here. So first, how to do that? So let us discuss first. Okay, so here design, as it was asked, design a matching stub, design a single stub matching section for the load impedance RL plus JXL at a given frequency F0. Obtain the ABCD parameter of the matching section. Okay, so first thing is that you have to know, first we have to specify the load impedance. So let us specify the load impedance. Let us say that for you, so you take ZL equals to 30 plus J 40 ohm. This is for the BTech guys, and ZL equals to 30 minus J 40 for dual degree. Okay, means use different these things. Yeah, the 30 plus J40 for the BTech guys and 30 minus J40 for the dual degree students. Now, once you have these things, once you have this ZL, are you able to find out what is the length of the stub and what is the position of the stub? That is this one. This is open circuit stub, and this we have discussed in the last class. Or this has been taught also in the that one, electromagnetics, single stub matching. The simple problem is can you able to find out the DS and LS for this case? DS is the position of the stub and LS is your length of the stub. Can you do it? Yes, so or like no?
DS, if you first normalize ZL with respect to Z0, and then you choose DS such that when you look into like the DS section, then it should be 1 plus some J times some B, let's say. And LS has to be chosen such that, you know, when the reflection comes back from LS, so it cancels that JB.
Yes, so definitely.
Then that will just, you know, that will be 1 when you look in totality from the point of, the stub. So that will be like looking at Z0 throughout the line, right? So,
yeah. Just so let us say that this will be your ZS, the normalized one. This will be ZA. This is your ZS normalized. let's say this is your point A dash. So your here, since Zi is whatever I am writing small one, and it is means it is cut, it is stacked in center, it is normalized. So Zi means Zi over Z0. So Zi, if I write, so Zi should be 1. So 1 means it should be 1, and you know these two are connected in series. This is connect this, and these are connected in series. I can straightforward, I know that if two networks are connected in series, I can straightforward add their impedances. So I can write here normalized one, I can write here Zs plus Za. Okay, Zs plus Za I can write here. And also I can calculate normalized ZL will be your 30 plus J40 over 50. So it will be 0.6 plus J0.8. Okay, so this is whatever. So if you need to have the knowledge of the Smith chart. So that will be, so you will have the Smith chart. So where does this point will lie? 0.6. 0.6 will be, so this is R equals to 0 circle. This is R equals to 1 circle. R equals to 0.6 will be somewhere in between. So this will be, this is R equals to 0.6 and J equals to 0.8 will be, so if I draw, so this will be J equals to, sorry, X equals to 0. This is X equals to 1. X equals to 0.8 will be somewhere here. So if I draw it somewhere here. So this will be X equals to 0.8. So intersection of these two will give me, this will be my ZL, that is normalized ZL, this point. Once I know this point, then what should I do here? So what should I do? I join this line with the center or the origin of the Smith chart and draw the constant VSWR circle like this. I'm not good at very drawing, so just drawn the constant VSWR circle. And so what we are here at this point. So once we are here, so we have to move D distance, that is DS distance, towards the generator. This is your generator. Okay, towards the generator means clockwise or counterclockwise. Towards the generator means clockwise. So towards the generator, and in such a way I should this ZS. So this will be, if I write my ZS will be of the form of JXS, because it depends on its length whether it will be lesser than lambda by 4. If your length LS is less than lambda by 4, your ZS will be plus XS. If L is greater than lambda by 4, lambda G by 4, it will be less, so it will be minus of JS, XS, minus JX. So it will have of this form. So what we will have, so we will have, if substitute these things here in this equation, so we will have 1 equals to ZS plus ZA. So our ZS will be plus minus JXS, so plus minus JXS plus ZA 1. So our ZA will be 1 minus plus ZXS. So our ZA should be of this form in such a way to have matching. So now from here we have to move the within the clockwise direction, that is move towards the to reach the G equals to R equals to 1 circle. So this is R equals to 1 circle. So that is the real part. So this we have this point and this point. So what will be the distance? So from here, so if you try to find out the distance, so it will be this one and this one. This will be your DS1. Similarly, if I take this point, so I will be having, this will be my DS2. So then you can read out your DS1. So DS1 will be how much? DS1 will be 1 plus it will have 1 plus j. It will depends on this. Let's say I will just write 0.8, and ds2 is, let's say ds2 is 1 minus 0.9. It may or may not be the same. Just if you have, so this will be your ZA. Okay, ZA. So now ZA is your 1 plus j.8. Then what should I add as a ZS such that my ZI should be 1? So I should add ZS equals to minus 0.8. So my ZI will become 1. Similarly here, so my ZA will be 1 minus j.9. So I should add ZS should be plus j.9, and you such that your ZI will be equals to 1. So you are now what is your task? Your task is to get the value of Z. You know you are able to calculate ZS means DS1 and DS2. Then you will get ZA. From DS1, DS2 is known to you, and then what you can. Then what is you have to find out the LS1 and LS2. That is what is the length of the stub. For that, you know the value of ZS1, that is your minus j.8. Here it is ZS2 is your minus, that is plus j.9. So this is now, so a open circuit stub whose input impedance is your minus j.8. What should be the length? That you need to find out. And so, I will request you to find the shortest length. You can write down. Find the shortest length of the stub. Because one will give you larger length, one will give you the smaller length, shortest length. If I give you this thing, find the shortest length, so you'll have only one solution. Okay. So now for that, so this can be done. So once you have calculated all these things on pen and paper, you will be getting your, let us take some value. So let us say that you get LS equals to 0.23 lambda G and LDS equals to, these are just, I am taking this value. These have no significance. DS is your, let's say 0.4 lambda G. So then at that is at F naught, so you have to find out that is F naught equals 2.54 gigahertz. For the given technology, you have to find out this, what is the actual length of LS, what is the actual length of DS, and try to find out in their ABCD matrix and plot it in the MATLAB for this frequency, that is 0.8 to 1.2. Once you did these things, then you go with the full wave simulator, that is Ansoff HFSS, and match the result. Okay. In this way, you can do that. Means finally, you can compare the HFSS and the MATLAB, and you will get the similar results. Okay. Any other questions if you have? Otherwise, I will assign the groups and we will discuss. TS will discuss. Okay. Or any question in this one, in the single sum matching portion? Do you have? Okay, so I will stop here. Then I will assign. So as it was discussed, so the group 1 will be for one group of students, group 2 will be another group of students. So please join that group. So after 5 minutes, I will just make the group. Okay. So please join.